If you've been following my videos all summer, you're probably a really sharp drafter and you probably drafted a lot of good players. You have a lot of depth on your team. So you're having some trouble figuring out who you want to start in week one. Let's figure it out together, man. I got 6 names for you guys, 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers that I think are smash starts that are going to cook, that are going to outproduce their ADP and their rankings in week one. So we're going to start this video, man, with DeAndre Swift, who is never going to be better than RB18, it seems. His entire career, he's an RB2, prototypical. Never better, never worse. Owning DeAndre Swift was absolutely horrible last year. Watching the offensive lineman get pancaked on every single play, it was not fun, man. But I think it's a new year. Although we can never forgive, we can forget. We got Vikings at Chicago on Monday night. Ben Johnson's first game as a new head coach for the Bears. It's going to be an improved offense. Caleb Williams, he looked good in preseason versus the Chiefs. Their O-line is ranked 15th now this season, so it should be improved. At least that's what we think. And this game is intriguing. It's a 43.5 over-under. It's not a horrible over-under, but it is decent. Now, the reason why I think DeAndre Swift is going to be such a good start is that Roschon Johnson has been dealing with a weird foot injury for about 2 months, man. He has not practiced. He's not been in training camp. This week, he didn't practice yet again the entire week. So that leaves Swift, Kyle Mungangwo, or whatever his name is, a 7th-round pick rookie, Travis Homer, who's been in the league since 2019, and the most carries he's ever had in an entire season was 25 total carries. So again, man, it is Swift, it's the rookie Mungangwo, and it's Travis Homer. I will admit, though, man, it's not an ideal matchup. You know, it is a tough team that they're going up against, and we don't really know what this offense is going to look like. And Swift isn't ideally really a good running back on top of it. He's a decent dude. He should be the workhorse. He should get the receiving work. We drafted this man in the 6th and 7th round with the expectation that he might lose some goal line work. We were worried about Roschon Johnson the entire offseason. That's why Swift is going in the 6th and 7th rounds. But if this is the one week where Roschon Johnson, who had 6 touchdowns last year, who was vulturing touchdowns left and right, if this is going to be the one week that he's not playing, we have to start Swift with confidence. And all jokes aside, Kyle Mungangwo is actually kind of a bad prospect on top of it. I mean, he's a 7th round pick, 46th percentile 40, 45th percentile speed, 41st percentile burst. He's not fast. He's not massive. He doesn't really have a lot of burst. So I don't really know what the intrigue is about this guy. I mean, his best comp is Bilal Powell. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? And then we have his college stats, dude. I mean, if we look over here in the reception category, 8, 6, 8, and then 14 receptions in his best season. He's not a receiving back. He's not explosive. He's not fast. He's not very good. I don't really know how this dude got drafted and how he's getting so much hype. I mean, in the 7th round, the Bears are just getting body bagged and they're losing by so many points. Swift is not going to lose work, right? He's the receiving back. I think he's just going to be the dude. And then next we have Tank Bigsby on the docket. Listen, I'm starting this man in my most important league because I may or may not have had too many beers during my draft, and I was cucked. I didn't have any running backs. Maybe this is a cope. Maybe I'm putting him on this list because I'm coping, and I'm just trying to manifest that this dude's going to do something for me. But I truly do believe that he is a good start this week. I would not lead you guys astray, man. I will not do that to you guys just because I have a dude. We have Carolina at Jacksonville, 46.5 over-under. Jacksonville is a 3.5 point favorite, okay? So we have a good over-under. We have Jacksonville at home as favorites. I think we can probably give the edge to the Jags, right? Like, we're expecting them to probably win this game against the Panthers. Maybe you guys disagree, but I assume they're going to be playing with the lead at least. Now, you might be thinking, Ron, brother man, Etienne is the lead back, isn't he? Like, why are you talking about Tank Bigsby? Well, YouTube commenter, Pussy Slayer 94, I disagree. All offseason, the reports have been Tank will be the early down guy and the goal line back. I'm going to show you guys a couple of reports here. Tank is being described as the focal point at running back for the Jaguars so far in camp. That's from Player Profiler based on beat reports. We have another one here. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby both played 15 games last season. So this is just last season stats. Bigsby had more yards, more attempts, more touchdowns, 46 missed tackles forced to Etienne's 17, and Bigsby averaged 0.9 more yards per carry than Etienne. So across the board, Tank Bigsby was just a better running back last year. He got more work. I know it's a new coaching staff. I know Liam Cohen is now in town. Liam Cohen seems to like Etienne a little. Early in the offseason, dude, I will preface and say that Liam Cohen and this coaching staff were reportedly not really that high on Etienne. He's not a guy that they really liked. They go out, they draft Bishal Tuten, and they like Tank Bigsby as the early down guy a lot more than Etienne. They did say recently that they want to use Etienne in some creative ways. They want to try to use him to be a dude that helps them get explosives, which is totally fine. I don't think that really affects Bigsby very much. Just one more little tweet from David Gautieri. Tank Bigsby was the only running back other than Kenneth Walker to gain more than 70% of his rushing yards after contact last season. And then just one more thing, just to put a cherry on top of this. Etienne the last 3 years, in 2022, he had 5.1 yards per carry. 2023, 3.7 yards per carry. And in 2024, 3.72. He's been on a decline, dude, every single season. I don't think he's going to be the lead guy here. I think he's going to be sharing the backfield. And I think they're going to slowly lean toward Bishal Tuten and Tank Bigsby as the season progresses. And in week one, in a game where there's a good over-under. They're going to be winning. They're favorites. They're at home. I want the early down guy. I want the goal line back. I want Tank Bigsby. I think it's going to be a grinded out game. Could be high scoring. And I think that's going to be good for everyone, right? Like rising tides lift all ships. So, man, I will most likely eat a bag of dicks on this call. Most likely, Etienne is going to be the starter in week 1. He's going to get most of the fantasy points. He's going to outscore Tank Bigsby. I'm going to look dumb. But I just have a feeling, man, this is my call. I'm taking my shot here on Tank Bigsby. So let me know if you guys agree with that. And now we move on to one of the most disgusting names that I'm probably going to say in this season. It is Rhamondre Stevenson. Las Vegas Raiders will be playing at New England. It's a 44.5 over under, and New England are 2.5 point favorites. Again, same exact setup. Las Vegas, a shittier team in New England with a decent over under. That is the game script for Rhamondre Stevenson. I don't know how many of these are going to have all season, but we have it in this game. Listen, Trevion Henderson is going to take over this backfield eventually. I think everybody believes that. Everybody thinks that. The man was being drafted in the 3rd round for a reason. But week 1, at home as favorites, this is a Rhamondre game script if I've ever seen one. I think we need to wait for the Trevion Henderson breakout to come in a game where it's tighter. Maybe they're losing and they really need their pass catching back, their explosive guy. But this game here against the Raiders is going to be like a pound the ball, keep the ball away from the Raiders, just burn the clock, be playing from ahead. I think it's going to be Rhamondre Stevenson. That's going to be the guy that they use. And if you guys think it's just going to be all Trevion Henderson, I will remind you, man, back in May, Mike Vrabel did say he's going to be a large part of what we do with regards to Rhamondre Stevenson. Now, he does have only a 40% reliability rating, but I do think it holds up, man. I just think it doesn't make sense for them to just run Trevion Henderson into the ground and give him all the early down work this early in the season. Let's use Rhamondre. They have him on a contract. He's still here. He's still somewhat productive as like a between the tackles running back. I think they're going to use him in that role. He does have some upside for some goal line work, maybe a touchdown if they're playing from ahead. And it's possible that they do get into the red zone very often. So I actually really like Rhamondre Stevenson this week, man. I know it's disgusting. As the season goes on, I will say Henderson is inevitable. He will be a thing. He is Thanos. All right, man. And then the next wide receiver we have on this list is one of my favorite players that I love drafting all year. 48.5 over under, Bengals at Browns. This is weird. Cincinnati is only a 5.5 point favorite. Is that because the Bengals are always starting slow, or maybe because Joe Flacco is starting and they think that this offense is going to be able to hang? So I want to show you guys a couple of things, man. So in 4 healthy games last year, Cedric Tillman had 18.6 fantasy points per game after they traded Amari Cooper. He kind of became like the alpha wide receiver for this team. He had like 12 targets, 9 targets, 11. Then he gets a concussion in week 12. So after the bye, week 11, he has kind of a whatever game, still 8 targets. And then he gets this concussion in week 12 and he's out for the rest of the season. So what could have been? Maybe we'd be drafting Cedric Tillman in like the 6th, 5th round if he just kept that buzz going the whole season. And listen, man, in this game, I think the Bengals are going to win this game, which obviously means the Browns are going to be losing. But Vegas still has a decent over-under, and the Bengals only win by about 5.5. That's the spread. That means that the Browns are going to be able to hang, man. They're going to be able to score points. They're going to have Joe Flacco, who's very competent, as I mentioned. Cedric Tillman is the X receiver. He's the deep ball guy. Joe Flacco can throw a good deep ball. I think this is going to be a game that is actually surprisingly good, man. I think both teams are going to be going back and forth. Both of them don't really have that great of defenses, to be honest. So this is the spot where I love Tillman. I want to start him this week with confidence. I think he's going to explode. There's a chance he catches like a long bomb touchdown because that's how you beat the Bengals, man. You beat them in the air. And now I move on to one of my guys, man. It is Matthew Golden. We got the Lions at Packers. Green Bay is a 1.5 point favorite with a 47.5 over under. All right, man. So the hypothesis here is pretty simple. In 2024, the Lions pass defense gave up the 3rd most yards, right? So they were the 3rd worst in pass defense, but consequently they were 5th best in rushing yards allowed. Sounds a little confusing. That just means they were good against the run, bad against the pass. If you wanted to beat the Lions last year, it was in the pass. And they lose Carlton Davis, but they do replace him with DJ Reed. So it's not really an upgrade or a downgrade. I think it's just a horizontal move. Now, they also do get Aiden Hutchinson back, who's great at getting to the passer. So maybe that improves their pass defense a little. But I still think there's going to be a disparity here. I still think the clear edge is going to be the pass game. If you want to beat them, you're going to beat them in the pass. Now, let's talk about the Packers, man. The Packers want to do 2 things in life. They want to run the ball, and they want to throw deep and intermediate for chunk plays. So they were 3rd in intended air yards per pass attempt in 2024, the Packers. They were also 3rd worst in total attempts. So they didn't throw often, 3rd worst in attempts, but 3rd best in intended air yards. I hope that makes sense, man. That means they don't throw often, but when they do, they're throwing deeper than anyone else or almost anyone else in the NFL. And then they want to get chunk plays in with the pass. Now, let's sum that up, man. We have a good run D going up against a team that wants to run and throw deep. Packers, I think, are going to have a hard time running. They're going to want to throw deep. They're going to have to throw deep to hang with this Detroit Lions team who have a really good offense. They're going to be able to really put a lot of points on the board. Packers are not going to be able to just run the ball, grind it out. I really don't think they're going to be able to because the Lions are going to take that away. Enter Matthew Golden, dude. Wide receiver 1 for the Packers. He is the fastest wide receiver in this draft class. He's a fantastic deep threat. He's been cooking corners in practice, whether it's Packers corners or against other teams in these joint practices. He's been cooking everyone, dude. The dude looks phenomenal already as a rookie. And this game is set up for it, man. It's a high over-under. We have a pass funnel defense, divisional game, so it means a lot. A sensational rookie with a lot of speed. He can take the top off of the defense. This is the spot, man. This is the game where Matthew Golden shows up. Listen, man, join me on this journey, dude. We will dine in Valhalla. I will sacrifice a gypsy, light some candles, fucking cast a spell or something, dude. I'm going to make this happen, man. We are going to be profiting from Matthew Golden. Let's move on to the next guy. Another my guy. Listen, I have 2 my guys on this list. I know it sounds funny. It's just maybe I'm gassing up the dudes that I have. But Josh Downs is in a fantastic spot to smash. We have a solid over-under. It's 46.5. We got Dolphins at Colts. Colts are actually a slight favorite, man. So 1.5 point favorite. I don't think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to potentially even get blown out. So let's talk about the Dolphins, man. They're expected to have a pretty formidable pass rush. That's kind of their strength. They have decent safeties. So they have like Fitzpatrick and a couple other guys. Now, their one weakness, if they had a weakness, would be their cornerbacks. Like most people are kind of expecting their secondary in general to just be bad and that their pass rush to be really their only saving grace. But their cornerbacks are really where they struggled. Last year, they had a 64 average PFF grade, and then they lost Jalen Ramsey. So the one dude who was like kind of good, kind of had a name, he's gone. Maybe it's an improvement, but 64.4 PFF grade last year is not great. And let's focus in, dude. I want to focus in on Jason Marshall Jr. He's the rookie nickel cornerback for the Miami Dolphins. He's going to be matched up against our boy Josh Downs. The man is just inexperienced. He doesn't have a lot of talent. Obviously, he was a later round pick, and I think the 5th or 6th round. I think this can be an ugly game, I will say, dude. I think Daniel Jones is going to be on his ass. He's going to be struggling to find time. He's not going to be able to create down the field, right? So like Alec Pierce, Adonai Mitchell, Michael Pittman, who's doing the intermediate stuff. I think it's going to be tough to get them the ball. And pair that with the fact that Daniel Jones has one of the worst average depth of throws in the NFL. He's like 30th out of like 40 quarterbacks. So he doesn't throw deep. Remember Wan'Dale Robinson last year, who was actually beasting and feasting just off of targets, just off of like short yardage stuff. I think Josh Downs is basically like Wan'Dale Robinson if Wan'Dale Robinson was actually good at football. So I envision this game being Josh Downs and Tyler Warren eating underneath and just dinking and dunking, a little bit of Jonathan Taylor. But I do imagine them kind of struggling to get Jonathan Taylor going. I just think the Miami Dolphins are going to sell out to stop the run. And I think they're going to have to beat them with the short pass. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to really be struggling to find running lanes. This team's not going to be able to lean on Jonathan Taylor. It's not going to be a Jonathan Taylor game like we might think it would be, even though it's a home game. I just think I envision it being that way. And look, and I think because the Colts are going to be struggling, they're going to have to put the game in Daniel Jones' hand. And look, that's like asking a crackhead to hold $20 for you while you go to the bathroom. It's just not going to end out right. You will never see that $20 bill ever again. And that's what's going to happen, dude. I think it's brutal to have to put this game into Daniel Jones' hands, but it's going to be a Josh Downs and Tyler Warren game. That's just my opinion. I love Josh Downs this week. He's going to explode, dude. This could be like a coming out party for him where he's been getting hyped by kind of fantasy Twitter. There was like a 1 week period over the summer where everyone was talking about Josh Downs. And I think this is going to be the game he pops off, man. I got him for a touchdown. Maybe he can hit like 10 receptions for like 65 yards or so, but it is not financial advice. Anyway, man, that does it for the video. I hope it was helpful, dude. I hope you guys like these 6 names of players I think are going to cook this week. I tried to go a little bit deeper, try to dig deeper for some of the later names. You know, everybody knows about the top guys. So stay tuned Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to be live streaming. We're going to be doing Q&A, sit starts, trade advice, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be live for about an hour. Talking football. I might stay live, you know, and watch a little Red Zone, do like a companion type of thing where I'm gonna be streaming it and kind of talking about maybe the first like 30 minutes or so. We'll see how things go. If there's people in the stream, if not, I'm probably just gonna end it. But either way, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new if you want to catch more of this stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next video or Sunday morning if you come.